everybody. How are we doing tonight? So, we are of course going to be continuing with some Fate Stay Night tonight. Let's see, we are going to be finishing up day 11 because we left off with a little bit left to do in day 11 last time, and then we're going to be going through day 12. There are a couple of opportunities for bad ends in this day, so reminder that for $5 you can force me to do whatever the next bad end is. I don't quite remember what either of these bad ends are. But in any case, let's just go ahead and get into it. It is a quiet night. The wind blowing on the mountain is gentle, and the rustling of the trees is as quiet as a whisper. There are no birds singing about winter, nor are there beasts howling at the moon. The only path leading to the Ryudo Temple, the long stone steps, preserve its peacefulness tonight as well. But others do not know. This place has withstood 5 battles already. Each one was a great clash. Many servants challenged the Ryudo Temple. Berserker, Lancer, Rider, Saber, Archer. This mountain gate is able to enjoy the darkness thanks to the monster that has repelled all 5 enemies. I feel like my sound balance is way, way off lately. Hang on. Okay, that might be better. Hello, Celeste. Welcome, welcome. You gonna lurk? Alright, enjoy your lurk. The longsword moves. It is fortunate that the moon is not out. The arc of the sword moving in a crescent moon shape is so beautiful that the moon would be ashamed of itself if it saw it.
聞いているのですか、アサシン。あなたには門番を続けてもらうと言ったのです。
He ignores the Magus in purple, Castor. Assassin lowers his long sword and glances at the mountain forest without interest.
いや、邪魔者がいてな。おかしな鳥を見かけたので切ってみたが、血も出なければ悲鳴をあげぬ。これはお前の同胞か、キャスター。
そう。監視役の使い魔ね。バーサーカーのマスターか、あのお嬢さんか。どちらにせよ、ここもそう長くは持たない。
Castor walks to the forest and looks down at the thing on the ground. It is the corpse of an owl. It is a bird made from crystal. It is simple but suited for spying and must have been made by Archer's master.
あのお嬢さんも運がないわね。もう少し無能なら教え子にしてあげてもよかったのに。
She steps on it. The amethyst crystals are crushed to powder, scattering star-like dust.
こんな輩も多いですし、マスターの守護は任せましたよ、アサシン。マスターが死んでしまっては、私も消えざるを得ない。消えたくなければ死ぬ気で門を守りなさい。
さて、死ぬ気でというのは難しいな。この小次郎、生まれてこの方、生きているという実感がない。そのようなものに決死を命じても無意味ではないかな、キャスター。
減らず口よ。勘違いはしないことね、アサシン。あなたは私が呼び出したサーバントよ。奴隷は奴隷らしく振る舞いなさい。いいこと？主人に忠誠を誓えないのなら、ここで消してしまうだけよ。
Castor's words are filled with enmity and contempt. For her, assassin is only a tool. It is annoying for a tool to talk, so it is natural for her to get mad when he starts to speak cynically.
そうか、それはしたり。カゲロウのごとき我が命だが、今消されるのは困る。一つ約束をしてしまったのでな。できるのならば果たしたいのだ。
なら言葉を慎みなさい。あなたはただここを守っていればいい。ええ、それが果たせた暁にはあなたを本物にしてあげるわ。宝具も持たない下級のあなたが英霊になれるのだから、命を懸ける価値はあるでしょ。
心配は無用だ。元より閣僚の身、与えられた役割は演じきってみせよう。だがいいのかな、キャスター。私も主人に忠実ではないが、お前とて不義理ではないか。こたびの件、マスターには内密であろう。
At that instant, Assassin's body explodes. A thumping sound. The curse that was put into his body upon summoning has exploded. The trees sway. Assassin is flung into the forest, his chest pierced from within by his own ribs. His figure is like a bloomed flower.
これはまた日に日に度が過ぎていくな、キャスター。
黙りなさい。次に同じことを言わせるのなら、あと5日を待たずに消し去るだけよ。
まったく、女と精進は手に負えんというが、お前はいささか行き過ぎだ。
The flashy servant gets up. This servant does not lose his elegance even if he shows his ribs or if his body is covered in blood.
おお、そのような目で睨むな。美しい顔が台無しだぞ、キャスター。分かっている。お前のマスターには全て内密に行うのだろう。セイバーを捕らえたことも、私という門番がいることも隠し通す。良い美談ではないか。主人を思うその心意気、あの男に通じるといいのだ
アサシ、あなた。
な。何、ただの負け惜しみだ。どうあろうとお前には手を挙げられぬのだから、この程度のざれ言は許せよ。門は守る。何があろうと守り通そう。だが、そういうお前はどこに行く？私の守りは信用できぬか？
当然でしょう。あなたはただの保険よ。けどそれも終わり。セイバーさえ手に入れれば、こんなひなびた場所を神殿にすることもないわ。
陣地替えか。となると、確かに私は用済みだが、このお山に勝る霊地があるとでも？
ええ、多少は劣るようだけど、私にふさわしい場所があるわ。それに遠からずそこには足を運ぶのですもの。今すぐに行っても問題はないでしょう。
Assassin's expression, which had been cool up to now, clouds up. Castor smiles as if she's satisfied.
そう、私たちの勝利は揺るがないのだから、先に商品を受け取りに行くの。新しい陣地と聖杯、それにセイバーという駒まで揃えた。これなら乗り気でない私のマスターも私の方針に異論は挟めないでしょう。
That is true. No matter how much Castor's master, Kazuki Soichiro, stays silent, he would be forced to fight if the conditions are set so perfectly. But what is more certain is that
つまらない戦いはおしまい。聖杯さえ手に入れれば恐れるものは何もない。そう、誰であろうと私を阻むことはできなくなるのですからね。
loud laughter pollutes the night. The Magus in purple expresses her victory. The knight with the long sword looks up at the sky. The time is near. No matter what the end may be, only 5 days remain. even though the remaining time will not likely be used up. The swordsman that has lived through hell feels that the match will not be settled easily. And I fall. I can't even breathe properly. The wound on my shoulder is swelling up, and it hurts just to breathe. I can't keep my consciousness. I'll fall asleep if I let my guard down. No, first of all, I'm not too sure if I'm conscious or not. I don't know how I got home from that rooftop, nor why I came home. My thoughts become vague. The only sure thing is my thumping heart. Tosuka told me not to involve myself, because I'm powerless and I don't have a reason to fight anymore. But that's wrong. I knew more than anyone that I'm powerless. My reason to fight is something different. I can't let it become just a scar. Losing against others is inevitable. I'm used to being beat up, and it's vexing, but I know I can't reach them no matter what I do. But that's only when my enemy is someone else. I can't lose against myself. There's no element that would make me lose if our powers are equal. To admit defeat against such an enemy is to declare that I'm wrong. The wound distorts. Blood stains the bandage. I grab it with my left hand and glare at the darkness. The memory from 10 years ago, the words of the man who was my father. Even if I was wrong from the start, there is nothing wrong with the path I took. I wanted to be a superhero so that incident wouldn't just become a sad memory. A time where everyone would be happy and shed no tears. I have held that ideal for 10 years.
Nara.
It doesn't matter how badly my head refuses to function. What needs to be done is determined from the start. I didn't fight because I became a master. I decided to fight because it's something I can do, and I believed it's something I have to do. I finally remember the obvious. If I believe it is right, I will believe in this path until the very end. I won't stop, and I won't let her fight by herself. That's why I will sleep now. I won't let her call me a burden. I'll heal this wound up in one night, and when I wake up in the morning, I'll catch up to her for sure and repay her for what she did that night. And into day 12 we go. And straight into an interlude. The stone room is illuminated by the morning sun. The light coming in from the ceiling pushes back the darkness. Every entrance and every window is sealed off, but even that cannot block out the sunlight. Even the place that should be covered in darkness benefits from the break of dawn. Ah, right, this scene. Entrances and windows are ordinarily used to let things enter and leave. The cracks cannot be covered, and besides, if it is entirely closed off, it cannot fulfill its duty to be used as a passage. If one wants to completely shut out the light, there should not be any entrances. If one prefers darkness, one should go to an underground place without a way to return. In that regard, this underground temple is not perfect. Light exposes all secrets without reservation. The hidden temple was easily discovered, and its master was easily eliminated as well. There are traces of blood on the floor. The original owner of this temple was killed by an intruder. The supervisor of the Holy Grail War, Kotomine Kirei, was removed from the stage by Castor's hand. That battle happened a few hours ago. The underground regained its silence. The new master of the church is standing in the darkness, but the winner scorns herself. Castor glares at the darkness with an irritated look. First of all, this temple is unpleasant. Neither the sanctuary nor the secret sanctuary hidden beneath it suit her taste. The intruding light is unpleasant, and the priest she killed was unpleasant as well. And most importantly, the crucial objective has not yet been accomplished. She is shocked at how poorly things are going, and she even considers reducing this whole place to ashes. Fortunately, she refrains from such violence. It is not because she regained her composure, nor is it because of respect towards the church. She suppressed her emotion only because of this sound. Faint, periodic sounds. A woman's painful voice is like fine music to her. She forgets her troubles and enjoys the spectacle. The groaning sounds of pain come from a girl. Her murmur is very weak. The groans would inspire either compassion or sadistic pleasure in those who may hear them. It does not need to be said that she falls under the latter category. Sweat drips down her forehead. Just watching the beautiful lips, gasping in agony, seems to bring heat to this cold room.
大したものね、セイバー。レイジの縛りを一晩中拒み続けるなんて、私たちでは考えられないわ。
At the back of the temple, the girl hangs, only able to breathe. As long as she opposes the command spell, free will does not exist for Saber. Worse still, a magic so strong that it is visible tortures Saber's body. The command spell pressures her from the inside, and Castor's magic tortures her from the outside. Saber's reasoning has almost disappeared. Only the last remnants of her pride hold her back. Neither the command spell nor Castor's magic can take away that deep root. Therefore, the torture continues forever. Castor watches the process, how the girl desperately tries to hold her ground. It was Castor that dressed her in this white costume. It is not arousing with her armor, and most of all, the armor does not suit her. If she is an untainted saint, I was doing so well. She should be in a pure white dress when she falls.
けなげなこと。いくらあなたの意志が拒み続けても、サーバントとして作られたその体は別よ。レイジュが少しずつ侵食しているのがわかるでしょ。あなたはあと1日も経たずに私のものになる。ならもう降参して素直になった方が楽じゃなくて？
The voice protests painfully. Even though her reasoning is melted, Saber does not yield to Castor. As Castor says, she will endure this torture until the command spell fully controls her body.
強情ね、セイバー。ええ、けど許してあげる。私、あなたみたいな娘は好きよ。金の髪も小さな体も少年のような凛々しさも可愛いわ。それに裏切るぐらいなら死を選ぶ一途さも愛らしい。ほんと踏みつぶしてあげたいぐらい。
She looks at the girl with eyes filled with joy and hatred. If Castor put her mind to it, she could get Saber to surrender in an instant. Saber's freedom is lost from fighting one command spell. Then the result is obvious if Castor uses a second command spell. Saber will become Castor's without the need for such torture. But she will not do such an inelegant thing. Castor should take time training her, since she is a lovely toy.
そうね。霊樹で体を支配するなんて退屈ですもの。あなたには自分から私のサーバントになってもらいましょう。ねえ。体ではなく、先に心を壊してあげる。
Her strongest foe is now as good as hers. Nothing can threaten her victory any longer. The location of the Holy Grail is a concern, but that is only a matter of time. For now, she enjoys the fall of the King of Knights with a smile, as a reward for her plotting. But... Hello, Wind! Welcome, welcome! So, last time, I believe you were here, but as a reminder, last time, Castor took Saber away from Shiro. And so we are now dealing with the aftermath of that. Dear Lord, what's going on in there? Sadism.
そこで何をしている、キャスター?
An unemotional voice suddenly calls her from behind. She turns around immediately. Above the temple, someone slowly comes down the stairs that lead outside. A tall, lean figure appears from the darkness. There is no sound of footsteps, nor is there any presence to be felt. The man comes down into the temple and shows no emotion, even after seeing the blood on the ground and the girl.
Soichiro-sama.
Castor changes her attitude right away. Her expression changes from one filled with joy and irritation to that of a tense servant.
なぜここに？あなたには竜道寺にいるようお願いしたはずですが。
質問は私が先だ、キャスター。ここで何をしていると聞いたのだが。
The man, Kazuki Soichiro, does not change his tone of voice. The flat voice is more terrifying than any threat. A voice without emotion is like a mirror. A guilty conscience. The voice is more fearful to those with greater guilt. One is questioned not by Kazuki, but by one's own mind. Castor holds her hands on her chest and reports to Kazuki. He is not one that can be fooled. No, she cannot bear to tell a lie to this person.
昨日、マスターの一人であるエミヤシローからサーバントを奪いました。エミヤシローは逃しましたが、すでにマスターではありません。賢明な人間ならば、私たちに歯向かうことはないでしょう。
Saw Sunday in the 2.2 trailer. Yeah. Dude, did you see Boot Hill though? Dude.
そうか。だがそんな指示を下してはいない。
私の独断です、マスター。
What is Boot Hill so fine for? Ah!
その後、聖杯の器を手に入れるために教会を襲いました。聖杯の管理役である神父は仕留めましたが、聖杯の行方は不明です。
そちらも独断か。帰還しなかったのは聖杯が見つからなかったからだな。うん。確かにせっかく手に入れた場所だ。肝心のものを手に入れないまま留守にしては意味がない。
Kazuki's words are not criticizing her, but Castor can only be ashamed of herself. She killed the priest who knew where the Holy Grail was, but she still does not have the Holy Grail. Furthermore, she has revealed her own action which should have been hidden from him. What else can she call it but a total failure? He's so hot and for what? Exactly!
状況は分かった。理由を説明できるか、キャスター。
申し訳ありません。ですがこれも全てマスターのため。 私の目的はあなたを勝利させることだけです。理由などそれ以外にはありません。
Robin's VA going feral over him was so real. A long silence. After hearing Castor's declaration, Kazuki Soichiro murmurs, I see.
ではここから離れるわけにはいかんな。留守中他のマスターに聖杯を見つけられてはお前の苦労も無駄になる。
ではマスター、
納得のいくまで調べるがいい。それまでは私もここに残ろう。お前一人では戦いに向かん。セーバーが手駒になるまで護衛は必要だろう。
いえ、それには及びません。マスターに力を借りずとも手駒はありますし、聖杯の探索とてどれほどかかるか。それにここは危険です。竜道寺に戻られた方があなたの身は安全です。
正論だ。だがそれでは私の目的が果たせなくなる。
Those words are unexpected even for Castor. What kind of an objective does this man have, who has no interest even in the Holy Grail, which can grant any wish?
宗一郎様、それは。
急げよ。なければないでいい。成果は問わん。結果だけを出すがいい。
With that, Kazuki goes back up the stairs. Castor watches him go in blank amazement. The dark room is still silent. The footsteps going up the stairs still cannot be heard. Interlude out. I open my eyes. My eyes are not the only things that wake up, as my sleeping mind wakes up as well.
傷は問題ないな。
I check the wound on my left shoulder. It still hurts, but there's no intense pain like last night. The heat in my body has gone away somewhat. It shouldn't be a problem for me to move around. I eat breakfast and satisfy my hunger. Food comes before anything else. My body won't move unless it gets the nutrition it needs. I reapplied the bandage. The wound has turned dark blue. It hasn't healed up, and I can see fresh red meat. Ugh.
当然だ。今セイバーはいないんだから。
I disinfect it, put gauze over it, and wrap bandages around it. It's a primitive first aid treatment to wrap and constrict the wound, but I have to do this so it won't get any worse.
よし、これで終わり。あとは武器がいるな。
It's cloudy today. It must be really cold, as there is frost on the grass outside. We've hit the point in the stream where I start to stumble over my words. Wonderful. But that's meaningless to me. I feel no cold. My body is burning and I want to pour ice water over myself. But this is much better than the condition I was in last night. The only things I can find are wooden swords. I choose the one that looks like it is the best and put it into my shinai bag. I slap my cheeks. I don't know if it's to encourage myself or to reassure myself that I won't be coming back here. I honestly don't know why I did that. I carry the shinai bag over my right shoulder and head outside. The place I've lived at for so long, the shed was like my own room, but I don't turn to look at it. Well, even though I've decided to fight, there are many problems. I have to determine clearly what I should do first, or I'll probably end up not getting anything done. There are two courses of action. And this is a decision that can potentially lead to a bad end. So as a reminder, to force me to do a bad end, it is $5. $5 super chat. I will give y'all a couple minutes to possibly get that in. Alright, no super chats, no $5. So, we will not be going to the bad end here, which means we are going to meet up with Tosaka. I'll go find Tosaka. She told me to forfeit. If I'm going to ignore her advice and fight, I have to make her realize that I'm not going to give up and that we're still cooperating. And I can't let her fight by herself. I owe her big time. I can't forfeit until I repay her for that.
しかもあいつここ一番で失敗するし危なっかしくて一人になんてさせておけない。
I adjust the shinai bag on my shoulder. I know I won't be of much help and that she will object, but I can't obtain peace of mind until I see Tosaka's face. This is just a what if. But if she gets injured away from me, I can't even be there to help her. I sit down on a bench and rest my burning body. It's past noon. I've searched all around Shinto, but I haven't found anything.
くそ、簡単にはいかないと思ったけど、ここまで無反応なんて。
I knew from the start that I had no way to find Tosaka. I let my luck take over and searched through the town, but I couldn't find her, nor any traces of her.
他のマスターも出てこない。令状がない以上、ちょっかい出す必要もないってことか。
I sigh and lay back. I'm making no progress like this. Tosuga hasn't left any trace, and my last resort of using myself as bait to lure out other masters is failing so far. I get a bit uneasy. I might not be able to find Tosuga, and I might not be able to save Saber. They might already be in a terrible situation by the time I find them.
まだ昼だ。そう簡単に行くもんか。
I get back up. I ignore the renewed throbbing in my shoulder and leave the park. I'll search one more time. I'm sure that she's in Shinto. It's just like last night. I don't know why, but I can feel that he is around here. It's not something ambiguous like a premonition. This is certain knowledge, like a conviction. Another interlude. When did I figure out what the dream was? A desert as far as the eye can see, or as far as I can see. The numerous swords stuck into the ground do not have a wielder. The sky is stormy, and there is no forest, town, or sea within my sight. A hill of blades, stretching to infinity. A graveyard of steel without any wielder or bearer. I knew from the start that this is the scenery inside that hero's mind. After many sequences of events, one who becomes a heroic spirit ends up in that place. There are those who left the world loved by people, and there are those who left the world praised as noble kings. There are those who died wanting to fight, and there are those who died in satisfaction. But it seems there are many that have been praised as heroes against their will. If true heroes are those who have legitimately earned the title, these are a different kind. They were forced to the throne of heroes because of their fate, and they should be called Avenger, the anti-hero. They are the opposite of heroes, but they were praised as heroes regardless. Even those that hated humans and those the humans hated are summoned as guardians. But he's neither. He's not a true hero, nor a rare anti-hero. He was never compensated for his efforts, and his own life ended with betrayal. But he never hated humans. But it didn't last. Yes, he probably grew weary. I was mistaken. Heroic spirits, familiars called servants. Humanity's power to control called the guardians. They are summoned into every age to prevent humanity's extinction. But the only condition for their summoning is destruction brought on by humans. Naturally, destruction brought on by an outside factor is solved not by human power, but by the world's restraining power. So the only thing guardian heroic spirits can see is self-destruction. They are an existence that eliminate destruction brought on by human greed. He made a contract with the world to save humans and became a hero. After he died, he became a heroic spirit and was shown humanity's self-destruction over and over again. He is summoned as a heroic spirit to save people, but he only gets to clean up after people's wrongdoings. It did not take long for him to realize that it is meaningless and start loathing the human world. And in the end, he was betrayed by the ideal that he protected unto death.
リン、どうした？立ちくらみか？
Hearing the call, Tosuga Rin wakes up. She slowly looks around. This is the foreigner's cemetery. It's just past 7 o'clock, but there is no one here. Well, the hill with the church is always empty to start with.
ごめん、寝てた。少し疲れてるみたい。
無理もない。昨夜から不眠だったからな。体調が優れないのならば見合わすか。何も今すぐ仕掛けることはない。
いいえ、時間はかけられない。キャスターの居場所が分かったんならここで決着をつけるべきよ。
After saying so, Rin realizes that her body is warm. Her familiar, Archer, must have kept her warm using his cloak. Aww.
なんだ、寝てるって気がついてたんじゃないあなた。なのに起こさないなんて人が悪いわね。
何、立ったまま眠る人間にはそうお目にかかれないのでね。物珍しさでつい観察してしまった。
ますますたちが悪い。女の子の寝顔を見るなんて何様よあんた。
安心したまえ。誓ってそのような無礼はしていない。だが別のものは聞いたな。目は閉じようと思えば閉じられるが、耳はそうはいかないのでな。
そう。私何か言ってたあーちゃん。
ああ、気に食わないだの、頭にくるだの、実に物騒なささやきを数件。
なんだ、よかった。
Rin sighs with relief. The dream she saw should not be discussed. She can't have Archer know about it. She likes their relationship. To maintain it, she has to hide the fact that she knows about Archer's past.
行きましょうあーちゃん。教会なら少しは詳しいわ。あそこならどこに隠れているか見当ぐらいつく。
She brushes away Archer's cloak. Archer silently protects from behind her. Then,
ねえあーちゃん、自分のやってきたことを後悔したことってある？
she asks without turning around.
私はできれば最後までしたくない。本当に打ちのめされた時にも歯を食いしばって意地を張り続けたい。けどそれって難しいんでしょうね。きっと私が考えている以上に。
個人差があるな、その手の精神論は。できる者もいればできない者もいる。とりわけ君は前者だ。その手の人間はまず過ちなど起こさないし、自らの過ちなど考えることもない。
何よ、それじゃあ私が傍若無人な暴君みたいじゃない。
いい自己認識だ、リン。鮮やかな人間というものは人より眩しいものを言う。そういった手合いにはな、歯を食いしばる時などないのだ。で、試験だが、君は間違いなくその手合いだ。遠坂凛は最後まであっさりと自分の道を信じられる。
The knight in the red cloak praises her. Rin blushes at his answer, but keeps asking without turning around.
じゃああなたは最後まで自分が正しいって信じられる？
いや、申し訳ないが、その質問は無意味だな。
どうしてよ。答えられないことじゃないでしょ、こんなの。
She sounds a bit nervous. To that,
最後までという質問が無意味だ。忘れたのか、マスター。私の最後はとうの昔に終わっている。
the knight in red gives this reply. Interlude out. I sigh and lean against a sign. I searched until the sun set, and the only thing I figured out was how useless I am. The wound on my left shoulder is throbbing with pain. I don't know if it's opened up, or if the bandage is getting loose. Hello, A Crashy! Welcome, welcome! We are Rereading Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works. We are on day 12. A lot is happening! Either way, I can't spend too much time on the search. It'll end up like last night if I can't find a clue.
あいつどこに行ってるんだ、本当。
I recall when I parted ways with her last night. It's already been a day since she told me to run to the church, since I can't fight without Saber.
ってそうだ教会
There is a clue. I thought about it when I started the search this morning. Love Fate's Day Night visual novel and the Ufotable anime. You never saw it. People are somewhat divided. Visual novel fans specifically are somewhat divided on the Ufotable anime. I think it's really good. The Unlimited Blade Works one, anyways. I only watched the first Heaven's Feel movie, but I think the Unlimited Blade Works anime is really good. The supervisor of the Holy Grail War. The priest at the church might know where Tosaka is.
あいつの手を借りるのは尺に触るけど襟好みしてる場合じゃない
No, I shouldn't go see that priest, regardless of my feelings. He's a priest, but Kotomine Kirei is not a man that should be approached. I don't want to go ask him for advice, but he's the only one I can count on right now.
一度だけだそれなら問題ないだろう
I convince myself and move my aching body. It's almost 7 o'clock. 20 minutes walk from the station. The church is in the suburbs, away from the noisy town. It's been 9 days since I last went up this hill, but I'm going there pretty often now, considering that I've never went there before. To be honest, I don't like the church. Maybe that building itself is a forbidden place I shouldn't approach. Hang on 1 second. I'm gonna check something. Yeah, alright. So we do have another potential bad end coming up soon. So as a reminder once again, if you want to see a bad end, that would be a $5 super chat on YouTube. I would offer a Twitch option, but I don't think I have the ability to receive bits on Twitch yet. I think. I'm pretty sure. But, yeah, if you want to see a bad end, get those $5 in. The fire 10 years ago. The church took care of all the orphans at that time, so it reminds me of that incident whether I like it or not. I get up the hill and come out into the clearing. I get a sudden headache. It's not because of the wound on my shoulder. The wound is causing me to have a fever, but it shouldn't give me such a headache. My temples are hurting. I lose myself and feel a chill, as if my body is splitting in two like a shedding insect.
おかしいぞこれ
I bear the headache and start running. It's because of the hunch I've had since yesterday. The conviction that Tosaka is in Shinto. That sensation is assailing me now and causing the headache. Then, something should be going on in there. There are bloodstains on the floor. The blood continues to the door at the back of the church.
違う奥に続いてるっていうより奥から外に出たって感じだ
I'm curious about it, but now's not the time. If there's blood, it means someone's hurt. And this much too. Their life must be in danger. I feel a sharp pain in my head. Dull heaviness settles in my body. I ignore it, take out the wooden sword, and start walking quietly.
遠坂いるのか
Nobody replies. The air is tense. I feel like the windows here will break if I'm too loud. I follow the trail of blood. It's coming from in between the columns. A dark stairway that you would normally not notice.
地下へ続く階段ここ 地下室があったんだ。
This is a church, so could it be a mausoleum? I mean, I guess you're not too far off. I don't have enough energy to just stand here and think. I cautiously step into the darkness. I descend into the dark. I see a faint light at the end of the stairs. Breathing quietly, I make my way down using that faint light. You saw the UFO Table movies, but you don't like the UFO Table canon. Fate Zero isn't prequel alternative in anime. I'm not sure I understand what you mean by that. The narrow corridor ends and I come out into an open space. It's a big stone room. The stairs follow the wall down to the catacombs. There is an open space at the end of the stairs, and there is the person I've been looking for, Tosuka Rin. Tosuka confronts the enemy before her with Archer's protection. In front of her, in front of the altar, are two people. It does not even need to be said who they are. The Magus in a purple robe, Castor, and her master, Kuzuki. And on the altar behind them is Saber, who is looking down and panting painfully. My heart jumps. My pulse is beating faster than normal. The situation is obvious. Two pairs of master and servant are confronting each other in the temple about 5 meters below me. Thank you, Crashy, for the super chat. Thank you very much. They haven't noticed me standing above them, as they're too absorbed. Tosuka and Castor are looking for an opening to strike. It would be suicidal for them to look up in a situation like this. My heart beats even faster. My head pounds and my shoulder aches as if seared by a hot iron. I can't keep my presence hidden forever in this state. Castor or Kuzuki will notice me if they happen to look up just a bit. Unfortunately, that is not enough in USD to get the bad end, but I do appreciate it very much nonetheless. Also, I do want to mention, because you're new to the channel, I stream Fate Stay Night every Friday, or I try to at least. We've been going through it one day at a time every week. So if you want to subscribe and hang around for these, that would be very cool. But in that case, the decision we make shall be that we can't act so recklessly. You're gonna bounce? Alright. Thank you for stopping by, Celeste. Have a good night. For once, we don't act recklessly. Shiro, who are you? Not yet. I can't act so recklessly. I breathe quietly. I push my body against the wall and watch while keeping myself hidden. It's still too early. It'll be too reckless to charge in when I don't understand the situation yet. And more than anything, I don't have much power. The strengthened wooden sword is my only weapon. It's foolish to confront Castor without a plan. No, that's wrong. I do have another weapon. Well, you're a super fan of Fate Stay Night. You tell me what you mean, but you let me read on. Alright.
バカな。それこそ何を考えている。
I can't use projection. Half my body became numb after I used it once. Archer told me that it'll end up worse if I do it again. Using magic beyond your capabilities can destroy you. If I use projection magic in this state, it'll be natural for me to die on the spot.
機会は必ず来る。今は。
I'll bide my time and wait for my chance.
そう。ならキレイは殺したわけ。
Her voice only holds murderous intent. Tosuka is glaring at the enemy with a coldness I've never seen before.
ええ、始末したわ。素直に聖杯を差し出す人間でもなさそうでしたからね。後々になって邪魔をされても困るもの。
In contrast, Castor is calm and composed. The Magus in purple cheerfully admits the murder of the priest. A gritting sound echoes through the temple. He was more like a devil than a saint to me, but that priest was a fellow apprentice to Tosuka. And he was killed. Even though he was involved and might have been prepared for it, it's not something she can take in readily.
そう。それは結構。キレイもそれぐらいは覚悟していたでしょう。けどキャスター、一つ聞くけど、あいつの死体は確認した？
Yeah, I wouldn't so readily believe that he's dead. Am I mistaken, or has she suppressed all her anger? Tosuka seems like she's not angry at all. Castor evades Tosuka's question. Because the answer is no. No, she
何
did
を言い出
not.
すかと思えば、そのようなことあなたには関係ないでしょ。
I don't remember if the visual novel actually shows any of the fight between Castor and Kirei here, but I'm pretty sure the anime does. I think I remember that. It has been a long time since the last time I watched the anime. I gotta rewatch that.
ええ、全くないわ。けど他人事でもない。あいつが本当に死んだんなら安心できるから確認しただけよ。
それはどういう意味かしら、お嬢さん。
言葉通りの意味よ、キャスター。あいつがそう簡単に死ぬ玉かっての。もしはっきりと死体を確認していないんじゃ、まず間違いなく生きているって思っただけ。
You messed up, Castor. You messed up.
使えないわね、あなたも。どうせキレイを襲うならしっかりきっかり息の根を止めておけっていうのよ。まあいいわ。やることもできたし、早めに済ませましょう、キャスター。今回は人質もいないし、気持ちよく戦えるわ。
A signal to start. Tosuka or Castor. If either one of them takes a step forward, this temple will be filled with magic.
大きく出たわね。あなた、この状況で私たちに勝てるつもりなのかしら？
やりようによってはね。幸いセイバーの制御もまだのようだし、条件は同じでしょ。それに久月先生のことも分かってる。セイバーは面食らってたけど、事前に知っていれば私のアーチャーの敵じゃないわ。
Tosuka points to Archer while staring at Castor.
聞いての通りよ、アーチャー。キャスターの相手は私がする。下手に近づくとあんたまで契約破りを食らいかねないから。
私の相手はあの男か。それは構わないが、魔術師ではキャスターにはかなわないと分かっているのか、リーブ。
安心して、勝ち目もないことは言い出さないわ。キャスターは必ずここで倒す。そうすればセイバーだって元に戻ってシロと契約をし直せるでしょ。
Tosuka tenses for action. I feel pressure as if she's a tiger about to attack its prey. and as if to stop her.
理想論だな。彼女をここで倒すというのは難しい。逃げるだけならば彼女は当代一だ。何しろ逃亡のために実の弟すら八つ咲きにする女だからな。
That is probably the single biggest hint they ever give to Castor's identity before it's actually revealed. So, anybody who has been trying to figure out servant identities, take note of that. Archer steps in between Tosuka and Castor.
アーチャー、ちょっと何のつもりよ。
He does not answer Tosuka. The knight in red silently confronts Castor. I think I saw something like this before.
実の弟すら八つ咲きにしたですって。知ったような口を聞くのね、アーチャー。あなたには私の正体が分かっていて。
竜の葉をよりしろとした人型はコルキス王の魔術と聞く。その娘、王女メディアは希代の魔女と歌われたそうだな。
The air freezes. Castor's composure disappears and enmity like fire is directed at Archer.
そう。なら、この場はどちらが優勢かわかるでしょ
？Archer does not answer. His expression is like stone, as if accepting everything that is happening.
抵抗は無駄よ、アーチャー。あなたが何者だろうと、セイバーを取り戻すことはできない。今はまだ私に逆らう意志が残ってるけど、それもあと1日持つかどうか。それに、霊樹さえ使ってしまえば、今すぐにだって私の人形にしてしまえるわ。
I barely stop myself from moving. Not yet. Even if that's true, now's not the time. If I want to save Saber, I can't jump out now.
たとえ霊樹を使われても、セイバーなら耐えられるわ。それが1分か2分かは知らない。けど、それだけあれば十分にあなたを仕留められるんじゃない？
But Archer, do you really think so? Why isn't this voiced? But Archer, do you really think so? Do you think you can defeat me here like that girl thinks? Castor and Tosuka are glaring at each other. That was weird. Standing in between them.
不可能だな。ここでお前を切り伏せようが、せいぜいその半身を立つ程度。
Because that wasn't like a line that would be affected by censoring.
その後に待つのは、セイバーとキャスターを同時に敵に回すという劣勢だけだろう。
Archer does not meet his master's expectations.
アーチャー、それは。
分かっているはずだ、リン。さすがにそうなっては勝ち目がない。セイバーは不完全なマスターのために能力を制限されていた。その縛りがなくなった以上、彼女は最強のサーバントだ。太刀打ちできるのはバーサーカーのみだろうよ。
He speaks plainly. Tosuka stares at Archer in astonishment, and even Castor is bewildered by the sensible enemy. But it's different for me. I've experienced something like this before.
まさか。
I get a bad feeling. Yep. Back at the Ryudo Temple. When Castor proposed that he join her, what did he say back to her when he refused?
やめろ。
I murmur without realizing. Don't do it. It's not because the situation will get worse. You're Tosuka's partner, so don't do it. If you do such a thing, I don't know what kind of an expression she'll make. Archer steps forward. He's empty-handed as usual. He steps forward without enmity or intent to kill.
恨むなよ小僧。こうなってはこうする以外に道はなかろう。
He looks and smiles at me as if he knew I was watching this whole time.
さてキャスター、一つ尋ねるが、お前の許容量にまだ空きはあるのだろうな。
アーチャー、あんた。
Castor laughs out loud while Archer stands tall before her. And Tosaka does not look away. She should break down at a time like this, but she keeps a straight face and endures it, gritting her teeth.
当然よ。一人と言わず、すべてのサーバントを扱えるだけの貯蔵はあるわ。私の魔力がどこから補充されているかは知っているでしょ。
Magical energy that allows her to maintain 7 servants. It is the lives of the people in this town.
ならば話は早い。以前の話、受けることにするよ、キャスター。
He holds out his hand to Castor in spite of that. I feel like I'll go crazy. I can't forgive him for betraying Tosaka and for approving of Castor and joining Castor's side. A hero. For this hero who embodies Emiyashiro's ideals to do such a thing.
あの時は断ったの？随分と腰が軽いのね、あなたは。
状況が変わった。セイバーがそちらについたのなら、今回の聖杯戦争の勝機はお前にある。勝てる方につくのは当然の行為だろう。
Archer walks towards Castor defenselessly. That means he's abandoning Tosaka. Tosaka does not stop him and stares at her enemy. I know that figure. The red classroom. She tried to hide her trembling legs and act like the same old Tosaka Rin, even with the collapsed students in front of her. That's her strength and weakness. She tries to act firm in any situation, so everybody around her gets the wrong idea that she's a strong person.
さあ、契約破りを使ってくれ。リンにはまだ霊樹が残っているからな。はい。
Oops. His tone doesn't change. He betrayed Tosaka in front of her, but he's still acting normal. She must be on guard against such a guy. Castor takes out the distorted dagger, but she does not pierce Archer with it.
どうした？労せずして忠実な部下が手に入るのだ。何をためらう必要がある？
どうかしら。私は裏切り者を信用しない。あなたの言葉が正しいのなら、コマはセイバーだけでいいのではなくて。
裏切り者を信用しないか。確かに私はお前をも裏切るかもしれん。私は私のためにお前に下るのだからな。お前を主と認めたわけではない。だが
霊樹とは裏切り者を罰するためにあるでしょ。いいわ。あなた一人を御し得ないようでは私の器も知れるというもの。元よりあなたの宝具には興味があったことだし、思惑にはまってあげましょう。
Castor raises her arm. The dagger to eliminate the contract pierces Archer's chest. Tosaka makes a pained face. It must be the reaction of having her contract broken by force. But this isn't the time to be hesitating. This has become the worst possible situation. Tosaka watches Castor and slowly retreats. Tosaka's calm. She knows it'd do no good to fight them now. If she wants to keep on fighting, she has to retreat for the moment. but there are 6 meters between Tosuka and the stairs. Is it possible for her to run that distance safely? Impossible. It's apparent watching the scene from above. Kuzuki, who has been silent up to now, is on guard against Tosuka. If she turns and runs full speed, would she be able to reach the stairs and get to the exit before Kuzuki catches up to her? Tosuka sighs while looking at them. Her face. Heh, that's impossible. Seems to say so. She'll die. She'll be killed. If I try to help her, I will also die. The area below me is a land of death. There's a master called Kuzuki along with 2 enemy servants. There's no way I'd get out of there alive. My throat is dry. My fingers are tense from nervousness. 0 or 1. Even before I can think. Tosuka moves. She starts for the stairs without any warning. Behind her, a tall, lean figure catches up to her so quickly that Tosuka appears to be standing still. Kuzuki's fist should hit her in the back of the head. He was able to hurt Saber through her armor. It should be easy for him to break a human skull. I can't save her. I can't save her by myself. I can't save her with this wooden sword. I'll die if I go out. 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 But, of course... Actually, this decision doesn't really matter, but... I think we would all pick... help her. I jump down. I don't even use the stairs. I have jumped down behind Tosuka without even knowing it. But that's it. My wooden sword is destroyed by Kuzuki's fist, going for Tosuka's head. Everyone's astonished by the sudden intruder, except for one man who reacts as though it's perfectly natural. He does not hesitate. It does not matter for this man who the enemy is. He has no emotion for the one who appeared. Death's scythe is thrust. There's no way to block it. I'll have my neck snapped like a flower. How pitiful. It's meaningless if it won't last even 2 seconds. Or if I won't last even 2 seconds. I will not be able to do anything. Not even save Tosuka. No. I had a way from the start. I can prepare numerous things to block the attack. If I am a magus, what does the fighting is not my body, but something I make out of magic.
Tres. Oh.
Then make it. Success is a matter of course. Do not reconstruct it from the basic structure. Danger. Read its concept, the maker's thought, expectation, moral, faith, and the origin itself. Danger. That is why it is not reconstruction, but projection. It is an equal shadow cast by the true object. Danger. It does not matter how great the work is. If it has been accomplished, there's no problem with recreating it. Overload. But there is another problem. Yes, the problem is that the unit cannot keep up with the function. My body is burning. Every cell in me catches fire. My nerves let out agonizing cries, my retina cracks and dies, and my heartbeat disappears. I ignore my body's order to stop. The concept of creation, the basic structure, the composition material, the skill of its making, the experience of its growth, the accumulated years, I skip it all and make up Kancho and Bakuya. My whole body is burning. Using projection now means dying. and Miyashiro's body cannot handle such magic. My head ignores it, and therefore my body will die. But that cannot be a problem. No, it cannot be. I will die if I reproduce swords? Of course not. This body is a magic circuit specialized for this purpose alone. I have been saved by swords, and I have lived with swords. I do not know about others, but it is impossible for me to destroy myself by reproducing swords. I repel it. The same weapons are in my hands, and my enemy is the same. Kansho and Bakuya are in my hands. The reproduced noble phantasm of Archer has repelled Kazuki's fist once again. It stops right there. Kazuki must have figured out this would turn out like last time, as he takes a step back. My lungs explode. The breath I've been holding escapes my mouth in a rush. I don't feel my left shoulder. My wound has completely opened up, and the blood stains not only my bandage, but my shirt as well. It's not damage brought on by using the projection magic. 2 attacks. I only repelled Kazuki's attack twice, and my shoulder got destroyed. I bet my shoulder would have been dislocated with one more attack, and my arm would have been ripped off. I can't show that. I ready my twin swords and protect Tosuka's back. And Tosuka is...
バカしろ！あんた、なんだってこんなところに来てんのよ！
She has stopped and is complaining to me. I'm relieved. My choice wasn't wrong. I'm glad her good-heartedness is still there. No, now's not the time. It's too early to tell if my choice was right or not. We have to get out of here alive.
悪い。文句は後だ、どうせか。一息つけたらちゃんと聞くから。今はあいつらを何とかしよう。
Tosuka nods silently and readies herself behind me.
手を出すと分かってはいたが、まさか飛び降りるとは思わなかった。
Kazuki is watching us, his fists ready to fight. He has no intention of letting us go. He's standing there so he doesn't let one of us go. If either one of us moves, he should react right away. But I can't be taking my time. The wound on my shoulder is getting worse by the second. My concentration fades as more blood is lost. My body won't last long to start with. If we are to run, we should do so as fast as possible. But we can't run away that easily. Kazuki will react if I move. When that happens, Tosuka will be the first one to die. I have to defeat Kazuki to let Tosuka go, but I don't have the power to beat Kazuki, and he's not our only enemy. Behind Kazuki are Caster and the Betrayer, Archer. No, in the worst case, Saber might also become our enemy. Was there no exit to begin with? There is no miracle that will let us escape from here. I want Tosuka to escape at the very least, but even that would require so much luck that it makes me sick.
そこまでのようね。あなたの乱入には驚いたけど、結果は変わらないわ。ええ、その顔では諦めもついたようだし。出てきたということは、殺されてもいいということよね、坊や。ここでおしまいにしてあげるわ。生かしておいても面倒でしょうし、ここでまとめて。
She's coming. I'll resist with all my powers. I ready my twin swords and stand in front of Tosuka. Released intent to kill. Right before it reaches us,
いいや、待てキャサ。
the knight in red stops the attack with an emotionless voice.
はあ、じゃあこの場での発言権がないことぐらい読み取ってると思ったけど。
いや、 言い忘れていたことがあった。お前の軍門に下るには一つだけ条件をつけたい。
条件です。
ああ、無抵抗でお前に自由を差し出したのだ。その代償としてこの場では奴らを見逃してやれ。どの道マスターとしては機能しない者たちだ。殺す価値はないだろう。
His proposal sounds objective. Tosuka watches it intently.
見逃せですって言動の割には甘いのね、あなた。
私とて人の子だ。さすがに裏切った瞬間に主を殺したでは後味が悪い。
裏切り者のくせによく本人の前で人並みのことを言えたものね。いいわ、今回は見逃してあげましょう。けれど次に目障りな真似をしたら誰が止めようと殺します。それでいいかしら、あーちゃん。
当然だ。この状況でなお戦いを挑むような愚か者ならば手早く死んだ方がいい。
That must have concluded the negotiation. The intent to kill filling the temple goes away, and the restraining enmity fades.
そういうことよ、お二人さん。今回は見逃してあげるわ。さあ、敗者は敗者らしく逃げるように立ち去りなさい。
I glare at Castor, but Tosuka pulls on my arm silently.
行きましょう。今はあいつの言う通りよ。
She whispers in my ear. I calm down and turn my back to the enemy. We don't run, but slowly make our way to the stairs. The distance that seemed so great is covered in just a few steps. A footstep. Tosuka takes a step onto the stairs and turns back to Castor. No, that's wrong. Tosuka did not look at Castor, but at the man smiling beside our enemy.
恨むのなら筋違いだぞ、リン。マスターとしてこの女の方が優れていただけの話だ。優劣が明確ならば私は強い方を取る。
そうね。けど後悔するわよ。私は絶対に降りない。いい？キャスターを倒してあんたを取り戻す。その時になって謝っても許さないんだから。
それは無駄骨だな。まあ自殺するというのなら止めはしない。
She turns away and starts to walk. She's biting her lip in anger, but she does not speed up, and Tosuka leaves the underground temple in a magnificent manner. We get out of the church. We do not say anything. Status screen updated. I'm sure just changing Archer's master. Yep, to Castor. And that is it. Oh no, we have more info on Assassin as well. Although I think it's all stuff we had on him before. Yeah. My wound hurts. The sweat on my forehead drips down to my eyes and my vision wavers. Even walking hurts my wound. It hurts every time I take a step, and my strides are getting shorter.
Emiya-kun?
She turns back to me as I am falling behind. Then, Tosuka suddenly looks at me seriously.
少し休みましょう。白、歩くのも辛いでしょう。
いや、大丈夫だ。このぐらいなら我慢できる。
To the Emiya or Tosuka household. It doesn't matter, but we should get Tosuka back to her home ground.
こっちの傷は気にするな。別に毒が塗り込まれたわけでもないんだから。
I ignore Tosuka's stare and keep walking. How pitiful. My knee's about to give out right after I say so.
ほら、もう無茶するんだから。その傷でクズキとやり合うなんて自殺行為よ。いいから休みなさい。あいつら私たちを追いかけたりはしてこないわ。
だろうな。けど少しでも早く家に戻ろう。俺ならそう辛くはない。
あんたね、そんなに血が出てて辛くないなって言わないでよ。なんで家に戻りたがるか知らないけど、今は休む方が先でしょ。
She scolds me. Oh, so she's not back to par yet, huh? Her usual coolness isn't there. She's very emotional, so her anger will be unstoppable if the brakes give way.
ちょっと聞いてるの？綺麗じゃあるまいし、そんなに血の跡をつけて歩かれても迷惑なのよ。大体どうしてこんなことになってるわけ？そりゃ教会に行けって言ったのは私だけど、すぐにヤバいってわからなかったの？
な、バカにすんな。それぐらい分かったぞ。のっぴきならない事態になってるって教会を見た時から気づいてた。
ならすぐ帰りなさいバカ。それだけじゃない。傷も治ってないのに乱入してきて、おまけにまた投影。そんなの傷が悪化するのは当然じゃない。だって言うのに辛くはないですって。ああ、もうどうかしてる。なんだってそんな無茶するのよ、あんたは。
Tosuka roars out without stop. But, well, it really isn't that painful, and...
だって遠坂の方が辛いだろう。だから戻ろう。家に帰れば弱音を吐いてもいいんだから。
That's why I wanted to go home as quickly as possible. She doesn't have to act that strong. Tosuka can let everything out once she's back in her own room at home. She wipes her face like she made a mistake and turns away. I can't think of anything to say. That was...
信じらんない。男の子に泣かされた。
She murmurs while looking down. Then...
父さんって、俺の手握ってるぞ、お前。
うるさい。責任取れ、バカ。
傷が痛む。よりにもよって左手を引っ張るな。
It's the foreigner's cemetery. Tosuka walks over to the grassy area and finally lets go of my hand.
な、父坂。今はこんな寄り道をしてる場合じゃ。
座って。いいから座って。
She does not let me object, so I sit down.
で、後ろを向いて、絶対に振り返らないこと。
It's time for the CG.
私の顔を見たら本当に怒るから。
I hear a sound behind me. Love this music, it's perfect. Yeah. We sit down on the grass with our backs to each other. I don't get why she's doing this. Tosuka is silent, and she told me not to turn around. I don't have anything to do, so I look up at the sky. I gasp at how big it is. Is it because I've been underground for so long? Or is it because the sky is clear tonight? Anyways, the winter night sky is so beautiful that it makes me forget about my wound. The warmth of Tosuka's body on my back doesn't bother me either. I look up at the black sky, forgetting about everything for now. How long have we been sitting like this? The silent girl starts to talk in a calm voice. The CG!
なんだけど。
I see. I can't reply if she's just talking to herself. I'll keep staring at the night sky.
少し間違えたかもしれない。あーちゃんの言う通り、最初のうちに手段を選ばずキャスターを倒しておけばよかった。ショットの犠牲を気にして機会を計ってたけど、 結局このままだと町中の人が犠牲になるでしょう。
She keeps talking. She's probably whining. She's not saying so because I told her. In short, Tosuka doesn't want to contemplate her actions by herself, but wants someone else to make her do it.
別に愚痴を言うわけじゃないけどね。私いつも一番大事なことばっかりしくじるのよ。2番か3番かそういうのはさらっとできるくせに、一番大事なものだけは手こずるんだ。
The winter sky is clear, but in contrast, the air is really cold. I don't care about myself, but isn't Tosuka cold without her coat? I'm worried about that.
アーチャーがあっち側に行ったのもあいつだけの責任じゃないわ。結局キャスターを野放しにしたのは私だもの。けど、参ったな。ついさっきあんなこと言ったのにいきなり追い詰められちゃった。
She sighs. I can't see it, but I bet her breath is white.
ちょっとここ何にって突っ込むところだと思うんだけど。
ああ、ね、何に追い詰められたんだ遠坂。
うん、後悔はしたくないってこと。あいつは私はそういう性格じゃないって言ってたけど、今が正念場みたい。シローがあんなこと言うから余計失敗したなって落ち込んじゃった。
I see. I don't understand her too well, but Archer's right. Tosuka isn't the type to regret her actions.
そんなの今だけだろ。尺に触るけど俺もアーチャーの意見には同感だ。遠坂は何も反省することなんてない。
どうしてよ。現にキャスターはやりたい放題でアーチャーにまで愛想をつかされた。これ私が方針を間違えたからでしょ。
それは単に失敗しただけだろ。遠坂は間違えてなんかない。間違えていないなら失敗しても胸を張れると思う。
The process. If you walk down the path that you believe is right, you cannot be wrong. At a time like this, most people will realize that their path is a wrong one. But she's different. Her path should always be the one that she can be proud of.
そうだな。正直俺にはお前が眩しい。俺も後悔はしない。自分のやってきたことが正しいって信じてる。けどそれは継ぎはぎだらけだ。
I don't want to regret anything. I want to make all the tragedies that happened into meaningful things by believing that my path is right.
でもお前は違うだろ。後悔はしたらしたできっとその倍は仕返しをするタイプだ。俺は継ぎはぎでなんとかごまかしてるけど、お前は平気な顔で粉々にしちまうんだ。採算は取れてる。たまにしか落ち込まないだろうけど、遠坂はその後が怖い。お前を落ち込ませた相手は何倍もお前に落ち込まされると思う。
何それ、追い打ち？
ああ、鬼がか乱してるうちに言っておこうと思って。
God, I love them.
でもまあ事実なんじゃないか。遠坂このままで済ます気はないんだろ。
I look up at the night sky and say so as if talking to myself. Tosuka doesn't answer. But I think that she smiled, getting herself together. And silence follows. Tosuka must have said everything she wanted to, as she stops talking. I aimlessly look up at the night sky. We should be going home, but neither one of us can stand up to break the moment. So we just keep our backs to each other.
そういえば、どうして私を助けたの、シロ？
I can't explain. There are many reasons. I think it'd be stupid to explain each one. So I say something I have to tell her.
このペンダント見覚えあるだろう。
I show her the pendant. I thought so. I bet she intended to keep this a secret. But she made a mistake again.
それどうして？
遠坂の部屋で見つけた。あ、帰ったらびっくりするだろうけど、すまん。化粧台倒しちまった。
I return her the pendant behind my back.
で、それがどうしたっていうのよ、あなたは。
いや、これと同じペンダント俺の家にもあるんだ。学校でランサーに殺されかけた時、気がついたら近くに落ちてたんで拾ってそのまま。
I casually hint about that night. Then
そっちにも同じものがある。
Tosaka gasps as if she's heard something she shouldn't have.
あれ、なんかおかしなこと言ったか、俺。
別に。それよりどうしてそれが私を助けた理由になるのよ。別にいいじゃない、そんなペンダントなんて。
そうだな。本当はただの後付けだ。白状すると、ずっと前から遠坂凛ってやつに憧れてた。で、困ったことにいざ話してみたら余計好きになっちまった。だから死んでほしくなくて、気がつけば何も考えずに飛び降りていただけだ。
あったね。そういう歯に衣着せぬ発言はやめなさい。考えなしに思ったことを口にしてると、どこかしらで誤解を招くんだから。
招くか、そんなの。俺本当に遠坂のことを好きだぞ。
I obstinately reply at once. It's not a lie, so there's no misunderstanding to be made.
バカ、そんなだから自殺同然で飛び込んでくるのよ。この大バカ。
Tosaka keeps calling me an idiot. She's criticizing mercilessly, but I strangely don't feel bad. The night sky is beautiful, and I feel calm. And I'm just really happy that Tosaka's back to normal.
よし、シロの言う通り、そろそろ家に帰りましょうか。ほら、手を出して。その傷だと立つのも辛いでしょ。
I grab her hand with my right. Tosaka pulls me up.
これで貸し借りはなしね。今日のことはお互いノーカウントってことにしましょう。
That would really help me out. I don't know what the pendant meant to Tosaka. I bet I would have felt more guilty towards Tosaka if I found out. Tosaka didn't want that and said the incidents offset one another. So Tosaka shouldn't feel bad about getting helped earlier. And we leave the foreigner's cemetery. And on the way...
助けてくれてありがとう、シロ。すごく助かったわ。
Tosaka adds with embarrassment. We walk down the hill. When we're going back to our home ground where it's safe, Tosaka heads for my house and not her house, as if it's natural to do so. Oh my god, I love Shiro and Rin, you guys! We're back at my place. I never thought I would make it back alive, so I relax once I get into the living room. I feel a bit dizzy and lean against the wall.
ほら見なさい。やっぱりまともに立ってられないじゃない、バカ。
She's right, but I think her last comment was unnecessary. How many times did she call me an idiot today? I bet she set a new record already.
ほら、こっちに来なさい。とりあえず包帯ぐらい変えないとまずいでしょ。
I nod and move by Tosaka.
この救急箱を使っていいんでしょ。 さすが家に道場があるだけのことはあるわね。ハサミばかりか、針と糸が入ってる救急箱ってのも珍しいわ。ってほら早く服を脱いで傷を見せなさいってば。
服脱ぐのか。いや、その前に手当てぐらい自分でできる。今朝だって自分でやったんだから問題ない。
あのね、何遠慮してるか知らないけど、そもそもその傷の手当てをしたのは誰だと思ってるの？
けどあの時は
I was unconscious, and I was only causing trouble for Tosaka at that time.
あの時もこの時もないの。いいから早くしなさい。四郎の傷は特別なんだから、ちゃんと見ないと治るものも治らなくなるじゃない。
How unfair. I can't complain if she tells me with a face like that.
それじゃ頼んだ。正直に言うと、さっきからやけに熱くなってる。
I give up and sit down. Seeing that the shirt is stained with blood, Tosaka gives up taking it off and starts cutting it right away. She then quickly but carefully takes off the bandages. Is it that bad? Tosaka gasps when she sees it. But I'm troubled as well. It's so embarrassing having her stare at my body so closely.
本当に無茶するんだから。せっかく治りかけてたのがまた開いてるわよ。まったく、こんなの見せられたら怒るに怒れないじゃない。
She talks like that, but gently touches the wound. Crap, I'm getting dizzy for a different reason. I was able to stay calm even if she was near me, but my heart's beating fast now, and I'm having trouble determining where to look. I criticize myself mentally, but it does no good. The temperature inside my head will keep increasing as long as we're like this. Because the dizziness isn't caused by my wound.
遠さが、もういいだろ。血止めをして可能止め塗って包帯を巻き直してくれればいいから。
そういうのは手当てって言わない。宣言撤回、やっぱり頭にきた。そんな気休めで外に出たわけね、あんたは。
A slapping sound. What was that for? Tosaka just slapped me on my wound.
何の恨みがあるんだお前。
恨みなら骨髄まで染み渡ってるっていうの。それでも手加減してあげたんだから感謝しなさい。
Saying so, Tosaka takes out something that looks like ointment.
今の痛かったでしょ。とりあえず壊死してる神経を治したからしばらくは痛むわよ。これには痛み止めも含まれてるけど、もともと破損した肉の代わりだから。馴染むまでは痛むけど、痛みがあるうちは無茶しちゃダメだからね。
She takes the jelly-like substance and applies it to my wound. It looks really suspicious, but I stay quiet since I know Tosaka is seriously treating my wound.
はい、これで終わり。あとは包帯を巻いてぐっすり寝れば、明日には幾分楽になってるはずよ。
She skillfully wraps the bandages around the wound. I'm not praising her or anything, but she does a much better job than I do.
サンキュー、トサカ。なんか楽になった。
I thank her while averting my gaze.
まあ、それならいいけど、楽になったって言うんなら見た甲斐があったわ。
治らないものと覚悟してたから余計助かった。ともかく手当てをしてくれてありがとう。
そんなの当たり前でしょ。私が見る以上はきっかり治してみせるんだから。
Finishing the treatment, Tosaka gets up. Then, I don't know why, but she heads to the kitchen.
トサカ？
Am I seeing things? She's checking what's inside the refrigerator and the rice cooker.
おい、何をするつもりなんだ。
夕ご飯の支度。シロ食べてないでしょ。私も食べてないのよ。だからとりあえず夕食。
ああ、それは見ればわかる。けど、どうしてこの状況で夕飯なんだ。
なんでって当然じゃない。人間空腹でまともな案が浮かぶわけないでしょ。
Tosuka speaks while staring inside the refrigerator. The sound of our utensils echoes across the room, or inside the room. It's past 10 o'clock. I don't know how it ended up like this, but Tosuka and I are eating a late dinner together. By the way, the dinner was made by both of us. Tosuka wanted to eat Japanese food, but she didn't even know how to make miso soup. It really makes me wonder what they're teaching in the cooking class at school. Tosuka is concentrating on her meal. She must be hungry, as her plate is almost empty. But I don't have much of an appetite right now. It's partly because this isn't the time to be eating, but more so because I haven't replied to Tosuka.
シロはここで降りなさい。
I haven't told her my reply to those words.
トサカ、話がある。
I put my chopsticks down and stare at Tosuka.
何？
あれから考えたんだ。俺がこの戦いを始めた理由を。一体何がしたかったのかってことを。
それで？
She urges me to go on as she sips on the miso soup. She's putting my spirit down, but I try to get myself together.
初めは巻き込まれたからだった。そしてマスターになった以上はこの戦いをどうにかしたかった。けどマスターになったとか巻き込まれたとかそんなのは関係がない。俺は正義の味方が好きなんだ。だからみんなを守らないと。マスターなんてどうでもいい。マスターでなくなってもセイバーがいなくなっても。
I say so, ready for Tosuka's rebuttal. But...
そう。
She makes an absent-minded response and finishes her rice.
あのな、トサカ。人が真面目に話してるんだからちゃんと。
聞いてるわよ。シロは一人でも戦うのよね。死ぬような目に遭うより死ぬような目に遭ってしまう人がいるっていう事実が耐えられない。だからどんなに自分が弱くても戦うことに決めたんでしょ。
She looks straight at me. It's as if she sees through the part of me that I don't even know about. And most of all, she approves that I am fighting.
そうだけど。
何よその顔。リスが砂糖菓子舐めたような顔して。
That's so specific.
いや、だってトサカは反対するかと思ってた。
してるわよ、もちろん。けどあれだけ見事に助けられたんだからシロに文句なんて言えないでしょ。それにさ、どんなに止めたってあんたはそういうやつなんだって分かっちゃったし。
Tosuka averts her gaze a bit. I don't know why, but...
じゃあトサカ、これからも協力体制ってことでいいんだな。
まあね、仕方ないから付き合ってあげる。だいたいあんたみたいなのを一人にしてたら不安で眠れないし、それに。
She takes a huge breath. After getting ready for some reason...
シロ風に言えば私もシロのこと嫌いじゃないし、私はそういうわけだし、そっちだって一緒にいても問題ないでしょ実際。
She hands me the bowl. I totally forgot about the entire existence of this sprite. How long did it take me to realize that she's asking for seconds?
ああ、もちろん。トサカがどんなに横暴でも望むところだ。
I take the bowl, fill it from the rice cooker, and hand it back to her.
いいけど、お腹減ってるし、ご飯美味しいし。
Tosuga starts eating the heap of rice. I smile. I bet I'm smiling as I eat, but I can't help it. I'm so happy right now, so let me smile like a fool for a while. Well, now we're drinking tea after dinner.
つまり東映には東映なりの限度ってものがあるわけ。一見イメージを形にするっていう何でもありに見えるけど、東映にはいろいろと独自のルールがある。その制約の中で一番わかりやすいのは東映物の損傷、存在における強度ってやつよ。
Tosuga puts up a finger as she drinks her tea.
存在における強度。何？幻想なるものの存在に耐えられない軽さってやつ？
I sip the tea and tilt my head in wonder.
何も知らないようでいてつまんない言葉知ってるのね、あなた。けどまあ当たらずとも遠からずかな。東映は自己のイメージからそれに沿った本物を完璧に複製する。これに例外はないわ。自分の中で完璧でなければ投影はできない。新作の影である以上、一部の隙も許されないのが投影魔術よ。だから基本的に投影によって生み出されたものは自己のイメージ通りの強度を持つわ。加えて投影する術者のイメージ、知識が本物に近ければ近いほど現実においても完璧になるわけ。
ちょっと待った。それはおかしい。俺アーチャーの剣を投影しただろ。けどそれはクズキに壊された。いくらクズキの拳にキャスターの強化がかかってるからって防具を壊せるほどじゃない。ってことは俺が投影したアーチャーの干渉と爆矢はオリジナルに数段劣るってことじゃないのか。
はい、いいところに気がつきました、エミヤ君。それが投影の限界、存在における強度ってやつよ。いい？投影はあくまで投影、想像じゃない。投影を作り上げるのは術者のイメージだけだから、イメージそのものにほころびが生じた時、本物と同じ性能であろうと無産するの。
イメージにほころびが生じる？それも変じゃないか。イメージが間違っていたらそもそも投影はできないんだろう。
ええ、だからほころびが生じるのは投影した後になるわ。そうね、例えばシローが絶対に折れない名剣を投影したとするでしょ。
I nod. Tosuga nods in satisfaction.
けど絶対に折れない剣なんてものはない。その剣の表現方法、伝承、売り文句などに絶対に折れないというパーソナリティがあるだけで、実際はそれを上回る幻想にぶつかれば刃こぼれぐらいするし、
それ折れた時点で俺のイメージが間違っていたってことにならないか。俺は折れない剣を作ったんだから。
ならない。投影が成功した時点で形の上での間違いはないんだし、そもそも折れない剣なんて名前みたいなものでしょ。実際に折れない剣なんてないんだから。けどシロ、あなたがイメージしたものは絶対に折れない剣よね。これが現実で折れちゃった場合、投影されたものは嘘になるのよ。それは剣が折れたからじゃないわ。あなたがイメージしたものは折れない剣。それが折れてしまった時点でシローの中の折れない剣と今折れてしまった剣は別物になる。あなたと現実、その計りが崩れてしまうから。
So if I sum it up...
よし、つまり俺は折れない剣を想像して投影した。けど実際に投影した剣は戦闘中に折れてしまった。その時点で俺自身がその剣をなんだよ実際は折れちまうじゃないかこの剣と否定してしまって、 結果として投影したものは消えるってことか。そのイメージの齟齬によって。
冴えてるじゃない。ええ、つまりはそういうこと。
Look at that, he's learning.
あなたはアーチャーの剣を投影した。あなたの中であれがどんな位置づけだったかは知らないけど、シロ自身はクズキの攻撃で壊れるような剣をイメージしてはいなかった。けど実際に剣は破壊されてしまった。その時点であなたはその剣をこんなのはアーチャーの剣じゃないと思ってしまったのよ。で、作り上げられた投影は術者の否定によって存在強度を失い、元の空想に戻ったってわけ。
I see. Even projected weapons can break. But it's not the enemy, but you, who make them disappear from this world. When the difference between the reality and the image becomes too large to be reconciled, the projected weapon disappears. It is because the one who projected the weapon stops believing in the image.
わかった？だから投影魔術はまず設計図から入るの。あとは材質と性質、歴史なんかも考慮すべきね。そのあたりから固めていけば、多少現実でイメージと違ってもすぐに消えるなんてことはないでしょ。
それならなぜそれを作る気になったのかってのが最初じゃないか。材料と技法だけじゃダメだ。今日の夕飯だってまず遠坂が和風が食べたいって言ったから始まっただろ。なら創作する上での発端から始めないと。
Oh, Tosaka stunned. Tosaka stares at me. I drink tea and tilt my head in wonder.
なんでこんな話になったんだっけ。
そういえばそうよね。私たち確か今後の作戦を話し合ってたような。
Oh yeah, we were talking about what our course of action should be.
シロ、本格的に投影魔術をやってみない？
When Tosaka derailed the conversation.
思い出した。不確定な要素に希望を持っちゃうぐらい行き詰まってたんだっけ。
まあそうだな。第一、俺の投影なんて剣を作れる程度だ。それも今まで役に立ったことなんてないんだから大した戦力にならないだろう。
Oh, she's looking at me with those eyes again. I wonder why. She always makes that face when we talk about projection magic.
まあいいわ。もう一度状況を確認しましょう。目下のところ敵はキャスター。あいつだけなら大したことはないけど、白兵戦に長けたマスターとあっち側についたアーチャーに守られている限り手を出せないわ。加えてセイバーが操られるのも時間の問題。状況は刻一刻と悪くなっていくわけだけど。
ああ、けどアーチャーはともかくセイバーはまだキャスターの自由にはなっていない。それが正気といえば正気だろう。セイバーが完全にキャスターの軍門に下ったら、それこそ俺たちに勝ち目はない。
I can't let that happen. She told me to run. She told me as she cried. So for Saber's sake, I can't let Castor do as she wishes.
そういうことね。それじゃあ意見のある人は挙手。シロ、なんかいいアイデアある？
An idea that will break the current deadlock. If there is a way to oppose Castor, it is... Oh, this is a decision that does not matter. So, chat, what shall it be? Do we say we're gonna fight them head on? Do we ask about a secret passage in the church? Or do we say we should cooperate with other masters? What do you think, my lovely chat? Second option? Alright, second option it shall be. We can't fight them head on. Is there a secret passage in the church? It'll just end up like today if we fight them head on. As we are inferior, we have to execute a surprise attack to catch them off guard.
なあ、遠坂は琴峰と師弟の関係なんだろう？なら、あの教会については詳しいんじゃないのか？
そりゃ何度か泊まったことはあるけど。って、そういうこと。せっかくのアイデアだけど、あの教会に秘密の通路なんてないわ。あの地下聖堂だって初めてだったし、仮にあったとしてもそんなの綺麗しか知らないわよ。
まあいった、それじゃお手上げだ。くそ、やっぱりそんな都合よくいかないか。あの神父のことだからそれぐらいは用意してると思ったんだけどな。
まあね、けど利用できない以上他の手を考えるしかない。その例えばのアイデアなんだけど聞いてもらえる？
ああ、そりゃ聞くけど、なんかアイデアあるのか？
アイデアってほどのものじゃないけどね。いいシロー、私だけじゃキャスターに勝てないのは明白でしょ？なら単純な対抗策はこっちも戦力を増やすってことよ。あっちはサーバントを3体も保有しているんだから、こっちも1人はサーバントがいないと話にならない。い
や、それはそうなんだが、戦力を増やすって他のマスターに助けを求めるとか？
助けじゃなくて共闘よ。キャスターがあそこまで強くなった以上、他のマスターも黙っていられないでしょ。聖杯が欲しいのなら一番強い相手を協力して倒して、その後でピンに戻ればいい。こういうのバトルロイヤルの定石でしょ。
So we'll make an alliance of the remaining masters, since Caster is so strong now, huh?
なるほど。交渉次第で協力関係は作れるかもな。となると、
ええ、残るマスターは2人。ランサーのマスターとバーサーカーのマスターね。ランサーのマスターは不明のままだから交渉のしようもないけど、バーサーカーのマスターであるイリアスフィールなら可能性はあるかもしれない。
Berserker's Master. The white girl and the statue-like giant I met on the night when it all began. She sounded dangerous, but I don't think she's cruel.
そうだな。あの子なら話し合いに応じてくれそうだ。見返りに無茶な条件も出してきそうにないし。
バカ、シローにとっちゃあいつが一番ヤバいのよ。あいつ初めっからシローしか見てなかったもの。
なんだよそれ。俺はあの子と一度しか会ってないんだ。そんなことになるわけないだろう。おかしくなしだぞ、遠坂。
そんなことになったら交渉なんて破棄に決まってるじゃない。バカ。
Then Tosaka averts her gaze and gulps down her tea.
けど今はイリアスフィールにかけるしかないわね。キャスターの正体がアーチャーの言う通りなら、間違いなくバーサーカーは天敵だし、何しろ生前の知り合いだもの。キャスターの手口なんて知り尽くしてるでしょ。バーサーカーならキャスターとアーチャーが同時に攻めてきても追い返せる。私たちはその間にクズキ一人を攻略すればいい。
そりゃ理想論だけど、遠坂、キャスターはバーサーカーと関係があるのか？
ええ、アーチャーが言ってたのよ。バーサーカーの正体はヘラクレスだって。キャスターが本当にあの希代の魔女なら、アルゴーセンつながりでバーサーカーとは面識があるかもしれない。私が綺麗に苦手意識を持つのと同じ。世の中にはね、どうしたって苦手なやつっているもんなのよ。
Okay. But I'm sure everyone would dislike that priest.
じゃあ決まりだな。けどどうやってあの子を見つけようか。あれ以来出てこないけど、あれだけの魔力を持ってるなら隠れていようと見つけ出せるだろ。なのに見つからないってことは、この町にはいないってことじゃないのか。
でしょうね。イリアスフィールはずっと遠くから聖杯戦争を眺めて楽しんでるんでしょう。
ずっと遠く？キャスターみたいに竜道寺から街を監視してるのか？
さあ、けどどこにいるかは見当がつく。昔父さんから聞いたことがあるのよ。アインツベルンは郊外の森に別荘を持ってるって。
A villa is that's one way to put it. It's a castle. She says so with a tense voice. A villa inside the forest. Tosaka's expression tells me how dangerous the place is. I go back to my room and lie down. Drowsiness fills my body as soon as I do. I stare at the dark ceiling. We are going to Iliasvil's hideout tomorrow. No matter what kind of negotiations take place, it's obvious that we'll need energy. Tosaka said we wouldn't get good results with tired bodies, so we decide to head out after we sleep.
夜明けまであと5時間。そうなったら、あの子と話し合いをしなくちゃならない。
The young master that appeared on the night I became a master. If Saber is a servant excellent in all aspects, Berserker is a servant specialized in battle. There is no servant that can match Berserker in simple combat.
そんな相手とどう話し合えばいい？
Saying it makes me believe it's impossible to negotiate with them. But strangely, I don't feel any uneasiness. I think Ilia will understand us if we talk to her. Just like Tosaka, she will classify enemy and ally as a magus. But I think she's a proper girl with all that aside.
まったく、まだ話したこともないくせに、希望的観測にも程がある。
I bet he would scorn me, saying that it's a convenient fantasy. But what's wrong with believing? Is it wrong to have hope for someone you haven't met yet? I realize that I'm gritting my teeth. The man who told me to drown in my ideals and die betrayed Tosaka right in front of me. A guy with that much trust and power switched his allegiance so easily. My mind darkens. No, it's freezing. My head cools down thinking about what he did. I'm angry. I can't forgive him for betraying Tosaka. I can't forgive the fact that he cast away his partner. I will swear here. Even if that may have been the very best action, and even if it turns out that it was the right choice to survive, I will never do something like that. His actions have been getting on my nerves. He told me not to talk about ideals. I opposed him when he told me I cannot save everybody. But I agreed with his words, somewhere inside of me. His words are correct. The superhero my father talked about is just a fantasy. And I accepted the fact that I would have to become like him to get as close to the ideal as possible. Not wanting to do so, I openly denied the idea, even though I accepted it in my mind. But this isn't on such a level. I can't approve of him. I can't approve of his action, no matter what the circumstances may be. I won't be able to keep standing if I approve of him.
だから、お前には負けられない。
My words do not disperse into the darkness, but stay in the room. A few hours until dawn. I keep repeating those words even in my sleep. And that is the end of day 12. And that is where we're gonna start wrapping it up. So, next week, we will head over to Ilia's castle. And that's gonna be an experience. That's gonna be a busy episode. Or a busy stream, rather. It's gonna be a big one. Tomorrow we should be doing more Grand Blue versus story mode. I need to update the game, I think. I haven't played in weeks. Still don't know what we're doing Sunday. But yes, thank you all for stopping by, and I hope to see you all next time. And let me see. Yes, Celeste is live right now. My good friend Celeste Albright is live playing Pokemon Emerald. I believe she's doing a Nuzlocke. I think she mentioned that earlier. So, for those of you watching on Twitch, I'm gonna go ahead and send y'all over there. And for everybody else, thank you all for stopping by, and I hope to see you all next time.